Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. Well, I was trying to straighten up my workbench here just a little bit, and I found this knife that I'd set on the workbench and got covered up with some stuff. And this is one of those knives from a big old basket of knives that I got from an antique store, and it's a little beauty. I'm not sure of this pattern. I think I know what this pattern is. I think I know about this knife, but I'm not going to say it yet because I need to go look it up. And, well, us self-proclaimed internet knife reviewers, we got to be right 100% of the time. So that's what happens. The pressure's always on when you're a self-proclaimed expert. Anyway, this looks like it's one of the sword brands. And we're going to clean this tang stamp off just to get started. We can see a lot of rust on these blades, but the knife overall looks to be in pretty good shape, and I think this is just going to clean up wonderfully. Yep, there you go, Camillus. And sword brand was one of the lines of knives that came out of Camillus. I think they came out in the 30s. Well, there you go. See, I'm talking off the top of my head, and I'm probably wrong, so I need to look up some information on this knife. Let's just do this real quick. I think it's a pretty neat tang stamp. There it is. Yep, sword brand. So we're going to work on this knife. We're going to get it all cleaned up. We're going to get it looking fantastical. Yeah. Is that a word, fantastical? Are there any English and grammar teachers out there? Is fantastical a word? Just cleaned up here a little bit. Boy, it helps just doing that, doesn't it? There you go. Camillus Cutlery Company, Camillus, New York, USA. All right. Let's look down in here. And where's my little flashlight? Here we go. We got rust issues down in here. Got some stuff down in there. Yep, got rust right here. See that rust there? Okay, let's get started down in there just a little bit. See if there's anything we can clean out of there. Is there any pocket lint or anything like that? Dirt? Well, it doesn't look like it, does it? Okay, well, got a little bit of stuff out of there. Let's start with just a little bit of 600 grit sandpaper. See if we can loosen up some of this rust, like right here. Get it roughed up. Get down in here and down in the channel. See if we can get rid of anything before we throw it in the rust remover. There we go. Okay, let's hit this blade here just real quick. Let me see here. I wasn't prepared to go this far with it quite yet, but that's okay. Say, I want to thank everybody for watching my videos and supporting the channel. I have so much fun cleaning up these knives, and it's just so much fun to read the comments and oh, I thought it was in good shape. Look at, there's a big chunk out of that blade right there. Whoops. Oh, I need to change this out. I don't want to use that. Oh, hang on just a second. There we go. This is kind of an impromptu recording here. I wasn't planning this, but I saw it and I'm like, we just got to get started on this. We need to save this old girl here. Alrighty, hit this up here. Oh, let's hit this bolster just to see what it'll do. Oh yeah. Now these blades are real thin and small, so they heat up really quick, so you don't want to go overboard on them. But as you can see, just doing a little of that, we've cleaned off quite a bit of stuff, haven't we? Okay, I'll hit this back spring here just a little bit, and I'll touch up this blade, and then I'm going to throw it in the rust remover for a couple hours. Okay, so we'll see you in a bit. Well, after soaking in the rust remover a couple hours and rinsed off and wiped off, she's looking a lot better already, isn't she? I believe these are mother of pearl covers, and they're just looking gorgeous. The problem is it looks like there's rust underneath the covers a little bit. Anyway, let's get started on finishing this up. Let's start with doing some scraping down in here. We got some rust way down in the bottom there. So let's just scrape on it here a little bit, see if we can scrape any of that out. Yep, it's coming out there. That rust remover really just loosens stuff up. Well, that looks like some dirt that was down in there. We'll get her going here. We'll scrape just a little bit right here. Oh yeah. Scraped right off. Got just a little tad bit right here. Got that going. See, just doing a little scraping there helps. Okay, we'll see here with some steel wool, see if we can get it down in there, poke down in there. Whoops. These channels are so small. Sometimes it's hard to get down in there. See what we can do. It's just a little too wide, isn't it? Let's go back to the sandpaper here, 600 grit sandpaper. So you can sand down in there a little bit. I see it getting shinier down in there. A little better spot. This sandpaper's getting used up pretty good, isn't it? Probably about time to get a new piece out. That sure helps. Oh, it looks better. That sure looks better. Try this side a little bit. Clean off on that a little bit. Looking a lot better. Okay. One other thing I didn't show you before. Oh, that's got good walk and talk. Good snap there. Is I did scrape these ends out. There was some rust down in these ends. So we'll hit them up again. Cleaned that right off, didn't it? And we'll try this side. It's not looking too bad, actually. Now that I have it here, before we forget, Let's just hit the tops of these blades. Get that cleaned off a little bit. And we'll check our back spring while we have it out. They look pretty clean. I think they just need, well, maybe you can scrape some off there. Yeah, there was a little stuff on there. I think it just needs some good oil in there now. But this one seemed to have really good walking. Oh, nice half stop. Oh, yeah. Wonderful snap on this one. Okay. Go over that back spring real quick. Clean off anything that got loosened up. She's coming into shape, isn't she? All right, let's get to working on these blades a little bit. You can see if we can't get them finished up. Of course, I've been using my trusty number 7. Does a great job of cleaning this metal up. Okay. Again, I'm not going to work on the blade a lot at one time. These little blades, they sure heat up really quick. You gotta go slow with them. Not putting a whole lot of pressure on it. We're getting it. Yeah, that blade's warming up. We'll move on to the next one here. I planned on going out the observation deck today and do some really good videos, and ended up being a rainy day. So down here in the basement workshop, working on some of these old vintage knives here. Which really is not a problem for me. I really love doing this. Really enjoy it. Okay, once again, be careful here. Don't hit your covers. On these little knives, it's kind of tricky. Be careful. Okay. We got her looking pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to soak it in some mineral oil and just see where we stand. Okay, we'll be back. Well, I was able to pull it out of the mineral oil, get it wiped off. Looking pretty good. One of the reasons why I wanted to soak it in the mineral oil before I went any further was I wanted to get some lubrication down in there and be able to manipulate these blades. Start working that stuff out just to see how dirty it is down in there. But this thing has good walk and talk. It's funny, the main blade doesn't have a half stop, but the pen blade does. And it's got excellent, nice, firm snap there. Very nice. These covers are starting to, or I'm sorry, the back springs. Used a little sandpaper, went along them. They're cleaning up really nice. Got down into here and scraped and cleaned. They're starting to look a lot better than what they were. Whoops, missed a spot right there. Scrape on that a little bit. But yeah, they're looking a lot better than what they were. And down inside here, I was able to get the steel wool poked down in there and scrubbed. You can see the sidewalls on that brass is shining up. And down inside, it's getting pretty shiny down in there. One last step I was going to do here real quick. And then I'm going to hit the blades again, throw it back in the mineral oil, because I've got some other things I need to get done yet today. So while I'm doing my other errands, I'll just let it soak in the mineral oil. Right. One thing I've been impressed with, this kind of a new technique that I kind of came up with, is to take this rubbing compound and get down in there, and you can wipe those sidewalls really good with it, and it really makes a difference when they're brass. Of course, some of that blackness is probably from the steel wool, but you get it down, poke down in there. And again, this is an emery board. You can find these in the pharmacy section of any of your stores where they have the nail care products and things. And the grittiness of it helps the pad here hang on rather than using a popsicle stick, and it's quite a bit thinner too. So it just does a wonderful job. You can see down in there, really cleans up nice down in there. Okay, I'm going to hit these blades one more time, and then like I said, I've got to go run some errands and that. Won't have a time to work on it for a few hours, so I'll be back. Well, here I am finishing up a knife that I started a long time ago. I don't even know what all we've done with it. I know we've cleaned the blade some. I know I've soaked it in some, probably in rust remover and in some mineral oil. This is what we're looking like here. I have been trying to do some research on this knife. I cannot identify it other than it is a sword brand made by Camillus, but I cannot get this knife dated. And I just don't know. I was trying to check on the covers here too, the inlays. It looks like mother of pearl, but I don't believe it is. I believe it's what Camillus came out with something, I think, in the 60s called New Pearl, NU-Pearl. So I think it's actually celluloid, like a cracked ice, yellow cracked ice celluloid. I don't think it's real pearl, but I guess it's possible. I always hate to go out on a limb and call something, name it, when I am not sure. I know some of you fellows can recognize mother of pearl right away. I can't do it. Some of the celluloid looks so much just like it. But anyway, let's get to cleaning on this. And also this, the shape of this frame, I cannot, it reminded me of a Seahorse Whittler by Case, the way it is here. I found some old Camillus sword brand catalogs, but I'm telling you, I just cannot find this pattern, this specific pattern of a penknife. Isn't that something? Let's put a little flitz on here, see if we can't just clean these up a little bit better. But the bolsters and stuff are looking real fine. Now again, unfortunately, we do have a little chip in the blade there. But I don't think I'm going to sharpen that out. By the time you sharpened it down to where you took that gap out, you'd be taking away a lot of the blade. So just for historic collection purposes, I'm just going to leave it alone. You know what? I'm going to change pads here real quick. Hang on. Okay. Switch to a little newer pad. That one's been used quite a bit for cleaning. And I like to start with a little something nicer when I'm polishing. You can see the blade's gonna end up being kind of stained looking. Boy, these bolsters sure shined up nice. Look at that. Oh, that looks nice. Too bad the blades are in kind of bad shape. What a beautiful little knife, huh? I just can't believe these bolsters. Just cleaned up so nicely. Wow, they're popping. Unfortunately, that blade, I'm not going to get it smooth. We really have to sand on that, I think, to get that going. A better shot at our tang stamp. Check out our other little blade here. Little pen blade here. Looks pretty nice. That one little spot there. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. I didn't even notice that before. That is the 4-line Camillus stamp on the pile side of the pen blade. Now we can date it. Now we can date it. I'll have to go look. I think I know the date of that. That date range anyway. Now, I think the sword brand goes back at least into the 20s. I do know I have like a copy of a 27 or a 1928 sword catalog. They actually came out with another brand later on, maybe starting in the 70s or 80s, somewhere in there, not sure. Don't hold me to that. Called Silver Sword. So they had Sword brand and they had Silver Sword. Oh, I am so glad I noticed that tang stamp. Maybe in one of my previous segments on this video I saw that and talked about it. I don't know. It's been a month or two since I started working on this knife. Whew, these little blades heat up really quick. Okay, I'm going to go see if I can find out some info. Well, you know, I kind of caught myself getting ahead of myself. What I did is I changed and put this conical felt pad on here. It's a little bit more aggressive. And I hit these blades again one more time with the rubbing compound and got some of them dark spots out of there. I just wasn't happy with how those blades were looking. So I got a lot more of that stuff off. They're looking a lot better. I think it's time we're just going to throw her in the sonic cleaner here. Throw her in there for 5 minutes or so. And when we get done with this, we'll throw her in some mineral oil and put some final touches on it. Well, what do you think we ended up with here? Let's take a look. Oh, doesn't look too bad now, does it? Doesn't look too bad. Of course, you always got some dirty oil and stuff. Little drip out of it. There's a little bit of sediment down on the bottom. So there might have been some of that stuff from the sandpaper. Okay. Just wipe off any of this excess water on it. And we'll get her in our mineral oil and let her soak just a little bit. Displace the moisture. And then we'll come back and put our finishing touches on it. Here we go. Well, here we go, folks, kind of with my finished product here. I got her out of the mineral oil and got her all wiped down. I don't think I can polish on those blades anymore. It'll make too much more difference on it. I've gotten rid of all the rust. Looks really wonderful down in there. Just look at that. Yeah. I just think this knife has come out looking wonderful. Let's check these blades out here real quick. Hear that walk and talk? Now there's no half stop on the main blade. But isn't that an interesting blade with that swedging there? Nice snap. We do have a half stop here with the little pen blade. Yeah, back spring looks pretty good. Brass liners look good. She's nice and clean all the way around. Well, it might be just a tad bit of grease in there yet. Just a tad bit of dirty oil, maybe. There we go. Now, here's the deal. See there? I tried to touch that blade up just a little bit. And there was another little gouge right there. It's come out some. But that main one there, that's just too deep to try to sharpen out. But I did smooth out the blade some. So until you get up to that notch, it is sharp. And I touched up the little pen blade here, just for kicks and grins. There you go. You know, I think I'm going to carry this knife on occasion. This is such a classy knife, isn't it? Even though this one blade's kind of bad, I've got other big knives I'm usually carrying with me, but if I just needed to cut a little piece of tape open or something, I could use a little pen blade or that. But man, what a classy knife. What a classy knife. Well, thanks for sticking with me all the way through this video. This has been a couple months in the making. Had to power through it and get her finished up once and for all. So until next time, have a very delightful day.